Good morning, students. This is Sampat Bhadu, Assistant Professor of English, Govt College, Sri Dungargarh, Bikaner. Today we are going to take up the last part of the poem entitled The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, Part-3, composed by T.S. Eliot. Let's take up the text. And would it have been worth it after all, after the cups, the marmalade, the tea, among the porcelain, among some talk of you and me, would it have been worthwhile to have bitten off the matter with a smile, to have squeezed the universe into a ball, to roll it towards some overwhelming question, to say, I am Lazarus, come from the dead, come back to tell you all, I shall tell you all. If one, settling a pillow by her head, should say, that is not what I meant at all, that is not it at all. And would it have been worth it after all? Would it have been worthwhile after the sunsets and the dooryards and the sprinkled streets, after the novels, after the teacups, after the skirts that trail along the floor, and this and so much more? It is impossible to say just what I mean, but as if a magic lantern threw the nerves in patterns on a screen, would it have been worthwhile if one, settling a pillow or throwing off his shawl and turning toward the window, should say, that is not it at all, that is not what I meant at all? Here, dear students, T.S. Eliot talks about Prufrock, who is facing the problem of proposing to his lady love. Facing Prufrock is neither new nor unexpected. It has become a part of his daily life. Actually, Prufrock is very timid, very coward in proposing his love to his lady love. And it has become a part of his daily routine that he hesitates in making the love proposal. The women are known to him in the daily routine of tea parties and social gatherings. In the face of the past failures, he has no great hope of success if tries again. Prufrock knows his weakness. He knows he has no courage to do anything or take a decision. In these lines, Prufrock thinks over the problem from another angle. He wonders if it would be worthwhile, and tea drinking and small social talks and other sophisticated superficialities, to broach the subject at once with a smile. It will be an act of superhuman courage for him. He will have to be reckless of consequences, means careless of his consequences. He will have to defy or challenge the whole universe. He will do his best. His whole life will be at stake. Only then he will be able to put the decisive question frankly and fearlessly. Prufrock might propose to the lady, bare his heart before her, and tell her all about his life like Lazarus, the poor beggar in the Bible, by assuming the superhuman courage. But Prufrock is always over thoughtful, and that checks him or prevents him from any action. When he thinks of approaching the lady to reveal his heart's desire, he also thinks of possible response of the lady. He thinks that the response of the lady might not be encouraging. Called to his warm proposal, the lady might reply that she was never inclined that way, means she was never interested in Prufrock. Prufrock has no courage to face the lady's refusal. Even if Prufrock managed to rise like Lazarus from the dead world, the only thing he might manage to say is the equivocal, that is not what I meant of all. He ponders over, he thinks over the matter again and says that after all the social formalities and routines, he may have seized the moment of baring his whole heart like the picture of the nervous system thrown by a magic lantern on the screen. It seems to him a shameless exposure of his heart in all its nakedness and to its very depth before the pitiless gaze of the woman concerned. But the lady may have dashed all the fervor of his confession to the ground by a simple denial of any intention in the direction of love. This would simply mean that she had no love for him. Such a situation would be only humiliation. It could be that he mistook her politeness for love. Dear students, simply means Prufrock is a very timid person. He is not able to face the denial of love from the other end. Next stanza. No, I am not Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be. I am an attendant lord, one that will do to, to swell a progress, start a scene or two, advise the prince, no doubt, an easy tool, differential, glad to be of use, politic, cautious, and meticulous, full of high sentence, but a bit obtuse, at times, indeed, almost ridiculous, almost at times the fool. Prufrock considers the matter deeply and realizes that his mental state is like that of Hamlet. Hamlet, a famous tragedy composed by William Shakespeare, where Hamlet is the protagonist or the leading hero of that particular tragedy. This thought starts a fresh train of confession. He at once admits that he is not like Prince Hamlet. He has not been made for the tragic role. He imagines that he may be compared to a courtier, Polonius, for example, who attends on the prince, walks in his retinue, may take initiative in small matters, advises the prince, place himself at his disposal, be respectful and serviceable, prudent, cautious, outwardly precise, full of saws and wise proverbs, but a bit thick headed, ridiculous like a court fool. Prufrock says that he is not heroic like Hamlet, but cautious like Polonius and ridiculous like Ossory the fool. How could such a man propose? Here, Prince Hamlet was the hero of Shakespeare's play Hamlet, the opening of Hamlet's best known soliloquy, to be or not to be, is echoed at the end of line triple one. Hamlet was given to self scrutiny and tormented by indecisiveness, that is, procrastination. He is unable to decide to be or not to be. What should I do? Should I murder my uncle or not? Thus, Prufrock's sudden exclamation is to cut short the Hamlet like soliloquy he had just indulged in to assert his own subordinate, unheroic role in life. Prufrock has no heroic quality. Next. I grow old, I shall wear the bottoms of my trousers rolled. Shall I part my hair behind? Do I dare to eat a peach? I shall wear white flannel trousers and walk upon the beach. I have heard the mermaids singing, each to each. I do not think that they will sing to me. I have seen them riding seaward on the waves, combing the white hair of the waves blown back when the wind blows the water white and black. We have lingered in the chambers of the sea, by sea girls wreathed with seaweed red and brown, till human voices wake us, and we drown. Dear students, here Prufrock realizes that he has no heroic quality. He does not dare to disturb this whole life, this whole universe, and falls back into trivial speculations whether he shall eat a peach or part his hair behind. He escapes into a fantasy world of unreal love with mermaids, for this is all he can achieve. Like Polonius, he is growing old, even though he likes to give himself a smart look by wearing trousers with rolled up bottoms, which were becoming fashionable. Prufrock has now retreated from his dilemma and his overwhelming question. He has diverted his mind to the memory of a vision of romantic beauty which rises from his buried life. So he is now thinking of taking a walk upon the beach of the sea, smartly dressed. The items of dress to be selected engage his attention. He hesitates at parting the hair behind and eating a peach as he walks. Parting the hair behind was expedient for him, as he was bald headed. The style was regarded as bohemian at the time. He is making all this preparation for an excursion to the sea in order to beguile the tedium of his civilized social life. There was a time, perhaps in his youth, when he could hear the mermaids singing each to each, but he is now no more fit for listening to the song of mermaids. The mermaids, as sirens, were, were wont to sing only to the brave and the adventurous. Actually, they wanted to sing only to the brave and the adventurous. Prufrock can only lose himself for a moment freely and spontaneously, riding on the waves and smoothing their agitated surface, as the sea is lashed and vexed by the stormy winds. For the moment, he can enter their world and enjoy their company and their welcome in the form of a garland of red and brown seaweed. Voices in the drawing room draw him from the mermaids, and he awakens to a sense of reality. The human voices send him back to his subjective world of introspection and sterile debate. Here he can end his worlds, I and you. Prufrock is not fit for death by drowning, which means a sea change into something rich and strange. Mermaids, dear students, the mermaids represent the lost dream, the youthful hopes of finding fruition in some meaningful relationship with the opposite sex. That's all for today, and have a nice day. Thank you for listening.